What if I told you that a small coin sitting in your pocket, drawer, or old piggy bank could be worth thousands, even millions of dollars today? Yes, I'm talking about real US coins that people ignore every day, not gold bars or ancient treasures, just simple coins that once bought candy or coffee. In this video, we're revealing valuable US coins worth big money, including Roosevelt dimes, Washington quarters, wheat pennies, and Jefferson nickels that collectors are desperately searching for right now. Some of these coins look completely normal, but one tiny detail, one rare year, or one minting error can turn them into a life-changing fortune. Across the United States, and even among collectors in the UK, Canada, and around the world, these coins are selling for shocking prices at auctions. People have found them in loose change, bankrolls and old collections, without realizing what they had. So before you spend your coins, watch this video carefully, because the next valuable coin worth big money could already be in your hands of your life. Let's begin our list with the absolute king of all. Roosevelt dimes, the unbelievably rare and almost mythical 1975 no S proof Roosevelt dime, a coin so scarce and mysterious that even legendary collectors consider it a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. In 1975, the San Francisco Mint was producing special proof sets, each containing coins with the famous S, mint mark as a mark of quality and precision. Proof coins are struck, using polished dies and special pressure to give them a mirror-like shine, making them different from normal circulation coins. Now imagine this. In the middle of this controlled, careful minting process, a small but historic mistake occurred. A set of proof dies was prepared without the S mint mark, and somehow a tiny number of these error dimes were struck and placed into proof sets that were later sold to the public. This wasn't just a simple mistake. It was an accident so rare that the US Mint immediately investigated and destroyed every known incorrect die. But somehow, two of these extraordinary dimes escaped, silently slipping into the hands of collectors who didn't realize how valuable they were until decades later. This dime looks beautifully normal to the eye. Flawless surfaces, deep mirror shine, sharp details. Everything you would expect from a premium proof coin. But the absence of the mint mark makes it a treasure beyond imagination. Because proof coins are handled with such precision, mistakes like this are almost impossible, which is why the 1975 no S dime has gained legendary status. Only 2 examples have ever been authenticated, and each one is considered priceless. When one of them appeared at auction, it created shockwaves across the entire numismatic world. Bidding started strong, climbed rapidly, and finally settled at an astonishing $456,000, instantly placing this dime among the most valuable modern coins ever sold. Experts predict that if another example ever surfaces, or if one of the 2 known coins is auctioned, again, the price could easily reach $600,000, $750,000, or even cross the $1 million mark because of its unbelievable rarity and the intense demand from high-end collectors. What makes this coin even more fascinating is the mystery surrounding how it escaped the mint. Proof coins usually undergo strict inspection, meaning an error like this should never have reached the public. Yet somehow these 2 slipped through the cracks, turning them into accidental national treasures. They symbolize how even the most controlled systems can create miracles of rarity. For collectors, the thrill of this coin isn't just the money, it's the story, the mystery, and the fact that such an extraordinary mistake was never supposed to exist. Imagine discovering a coin like this hidden in an old proof set bought from a garage sale, inherited from a relative, or sitting untouched in storage for years. That single discovery could change someone's life forever. And that is why the 1975 no S proof Roosevelt dime stands at the top of the list, a symbol of rarity, a masterpiece of error, and a reminder that sometimes the smallest coins hold the biggest secrets. Now we will talk about the 1940 wheat penny. The 1940 Lincoln wheat penny may look simple, but behind its familiar copper shine lies a story filled with history, survival, and unexpected rarity. This coin was minted at a time when the world was holding its breath. The year 1940 was a moment of global tension, technological change, and the early shadows of World War II. Factories were shifting gears, industries were evolving, and everyday Americans carried these pennies during one of the most uncertain chapters in modern history. And tucked within this ordinary coin is a treasure that collectors never stop searching for. When the 1940 penny first entered circulation, millions exchanged hands every single day, paid for bread, newspapers, bus rides, and small essentials. People never imagined that decades later, these little coins would become valuable pieces of American heritage. But here is where the surprise begins. Despite the huge mintages, only a tiny fraction survived in their original untouched brilliance. Most were worn down through years of use, slowly losing their sharp details and rich luster. But the incredibly rare few that escaped circulation, the ones saved by chance, hidden in drawers or tucked away in old coin albums, are the true gems. These high-grade examples, especially those with blazing red color and perfect strikes, have stunned collectors by selling for $5,000, $8,000, even over $10,000 in elite auctions. And then come the rare era varieties, the ones that make the 1940 penny truly exciting. This was an era before modern precision machines, and mistakes at the mint were far more common. As a result, the 1940 penny has some of the most fascinating and valuable errors ever discovered. Double die obverses showing doubled letters, misaligned dies creating unusual shifts, clipped planchets revealing missing metal, and dramatic off-center strikes. Each one transforms the coin into a unique masterpiece. Some of these errors are so rare that only a handful exist, with collectors paying $15,000 to $25,000 for the most dramatic examples. And every time one surfaces, it becomes a headline in the coin world. What makes the 1940 penny even more special is its symbolism. It represents the final years of peace before the U.S. entered World War. It marks a time when the wheat penny was still an everyday necessity, not a collectible relic. Holding a 1940 penny today is like holding a small piece of living history, a coin that witnessed the past, survived the present, and now shines with new value in the collector's market. So the next time you come across a 1940 wheat penny, don't rush past it. Examine the color, the mint mark, the details on Lincoln's portrait, the edges, the letters, even the slightest imperfections. Because hidden inside this simple 1-cent coin could be a valuable treasure worth thousands, a rare mistake that turns into a life-changing discovery.
The first coin on our list is one of the most legendary Jefferson nickels ever discovered. A coin so rare and so visually striking that collectors consider it one of the holy treasures of American numismatics. This is the famous 1942 D over horizontal D Jefferson nickel, a coin whose value has shocked the world again and again. At first glance, this nickel looks ordinary. Just another wartime piece you might have handled hundreds of times in your life. But when you look closer, especially beneath the mint mark, you discover something extraordinary. A minting accident frozen forever in metal. During production, the D mint mark was mistakenly punched sideways, and instead of scrapping the die, mint workers corrected it by punching a second D in the proper upright direction. This created a dramatic double-layered mint mark, where the first sideways D is still clearly visible beneath the corrected one, making it one of the most eye-catching errors ever created on a Jefferson nickel. Collectors love this coin not just because of how rare it is, but because the error is bold, dramatic, and easily seen with the naked eye. It's the kind of mistake the mint never wanted to exist. Yet today, it is the reason this simple nickel is worth more than luxury watches, high-end electronics, and even cars. Only a tiny number of these coins survived, and the majority that did were heavily circulated before people understood the variety. That's why high-grade examples are unbelievably rare and command incredible prices. Even a lightly circulated piece can sell for $5,000 to $10,000 depending on condition. Sharp and well-preserved examples easily cross $20,000 to $40,000, and when you step into the top grades, the prices become stunning. Premium uncirculated coins with strong details have sold for over $80,000, and elite, near-perfect specimens have shattered expectations, with final auction prices climbing above $100,000. Experts strongly believe that the finest possible example, if discovered, could sell for $300,000, $500,000, or even push into the realm of $1 million, simply because the variety is rare, visually obvious, and highly desired by collectors worldwide. Just think about that for a second. A simple nickel, a coin worth only 5 cents, now valued like a luxury sports car, a small house, or a life-changing treasure, all because of a tiny mistake no one noticed at the time. This is what makes coin collecting magical. This is why treasure hunters, collectors, and everyday people still check their loose change, their old jars, their parents' and grandparents' coin collections, hoping to stumble upon one of these mythical coins. Because owning a 1942 D over horizontal D nickel doesn't just mean having a rare coin. It means holding a piece of history that can literally transform your life in a single moment. And this is only the first coin on our list.
Now
The
let's
next
dive
rare
into one of the most misunderstood, underestimated, the hidden mystery that almost no one knew about. At first glance, it looks completely ordinary. It looks like a simple quarter that any of us could have spent at a grocery store, a parking meter, or a vending machine without thinking twice. But behind this 1 year lies a story filled with confusion, transition, and one of the greatest accidental treasures in American coin history. The year 1965 was a turning point for U.S. coinage. Silver prices were rising rapidly, and the government was facing a crisis. People were hoarding coins for their precious metal value. Shelves were empty of change. Banks were running low. The mint needed a solution, and they needed it fast. So in 1965, the U.S. Mint made a historic decision. Silver would be removed from quarters and replaced with a copper nickel-clad composition. It was a massive shift, something that hadn't happened for decades. But with big changes come big mistakes. During this transition, inside the busy, chaotic minting machines, a few leftover silver plankets, the blank discs used to strike, coins remained stuck in the system. When workers switched over to striking the new 1965 copper-nickel quarters, these rare mistakes became the legendary 1965 silver Washington quarters, not mentioned in mint reports, not recorded in official documents, not intended for circulation. They slipped out quietly, unnoticed, blending perfectly with millions of ordinary quarters. No one knew these few silver survivors even existed until decades later, when collectors started weighing old coins and testing their metal. Suddenly, the coin world was shaken. A quarter you could find in loose change, a coin worth 25 cents, was selling for $7,000, $12,000, even over $20,000 at auctions, and the rarest, cleanest, high-grade examples began reaching $40,000 plus, with experts predicting that a flawless version could break into six-figure territory with ease. And the story gets even better. Imagine a young collector digging through his grandparents' old coin jar, looking for something interesting. He picks up a 1965 quarter. It looks normal but feels slightly different. He tests it, checks the weight, and realizes the impossible. He's holding one of the legendary 1965 silver strike errors. That one coin paid for his entire college tuition. Another story tells of a man who collected quarters in a simple coffee can for years. After hearing about rare dates on TV, he checked his stash carefully only to discover a silver 1965 quarter hiding among the pile. He sold it and bought himself a brand new car. These stories may sound unbelievable, but they are real, because the 1965 silver quarter is the perfect combination of rarity, history, and mystery. And the best part, it still might be out there, in someone's kitchen drawer, in a forgotten piggy bank, in a jar sitting under a bed, and maybe, just maybe, in your pocket right now. Collectors across the world are hunting this coin like treasure. And after watching this video, you will know exactly what to look for, what signs matter, and how to check if your 1965 quarter is a hidden gem worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. So remember, whenever you find a 1965 Washington quarter, treat it with respect. Don't ignore it. Don't spend it, because this ordinary coin carries an extraordinary story, one that might turn into the biggest discovery
Now
of
we
your
will talk
life.
about the legendary 1944 wheat penny, a coin that continues to astonish collectors with its unbelievable value, mysterious background, and the powerful history hidden inside its tiny copper shell. This is not just another old American penny. This is one of the most talked about coins in numismatic history, a coin that has created millionaires, shocked experts, and proven that even the smallest piece of metal can carry a life-changing fortune. The story of the 1944 wheat penny begins during the tense years of World War II. In 1943, the United States mint stopped using copper for pennies because the military urgently needed every ounce of copper for weapons, ammunition, and communication equipment. As a result, the mint produced the famous 1-year 1943 steel cents, made from zinc-coated steel. These coins were only supposed to exist for that single year. In 1944, production returned to copper, using recycled ammunition shells collected from military training grounds. Millions of normal copper pennies were minted, and everything should have gone back to normal. But something incredibly unexpected happened inside the minting facilities. A few leftover steel planchets from 1943 were accidentally left in the coin presses. When the 1944 dies were installed, these leftover steel blanks were struck with the new date, creating the almost mythical 1944 steel wheat penny, one of the rarest and most valuable minting errors ever recorded in U.S. history. What makes this coin so extraordinary is that only a tiny number of them exist. Experts estimate fewer than 30 genuine pieces across all mints. This microscopic supply has turned the coin into a numismatic superstar. Every collector dreams of finding one, because the price attached to this tiny mistake is absolutely shocking. One genuine 1944 steel wheat penny sold at auction for over $1.7 million, setting a record that stunned the entire coin market. Another piece sold for around $1.1 million, proving that even lower-grade examples still bring 6- and 7-figure prices. Some slightly circulated samples have been valued at $600,000 to $850,000, showing just how insanely valuable this error truly is. Even a damaged or lightly worn 1944 steel error can still sell for hundreds of thousands, as long as it is authenticated. The demand for this coin is so high that collectors around the world constantly search through old collections, coin rolls, and inherited jars hoping to uncover this silver-colored treasure among ordinary copper cents. The fascinating part is that the regular 1944 copper wheat penny can also bring impressive money. While most 1944 copper cents are common, the rarest high-grade pieces graded MS-67 and above have sold for $5,000 to $15,000, depending on luster, strike quality, and overall preservation. Rare varieties like the 1944 D over S mint error can reach $20,000 to $40,000, making even the copper versions exciting for collectors. Some beautifully preserved coins with perfect mint-fresh shine have shocked buyers by reaching extremely strong auction results. The 1944 wheat penny, therefore, offers enormous potential at every level, from the regular high-grade pieces to the once-in-a-lifetime steel error worth more than a luxury mansion. What makes the story even more thrilling is that people continue to find valuable 1944 pennies in unexpected places. Some have been discovered in childhood piggy banks, old war-era savings jars, antique store boxes, or bags of wheat cents bought cheaply at flea markets. A few lucky collectors even found steel 1944 pennies mixed with regular copper coins, thinking they were ordinary until testing revealed the truth. That is the magical part of coin collecting, the idea that a life-changing treasure could be hiding in the most unlikely spot. The true power of the 1944 wheat penny lies not only in its jaw-dropping value, but in the possibility that one rare coin might still be waiting to be discovered today. So whenever you come across a 1944 penny, take a close look. If it appears silver-colored, sticks to a magnet, or feels slightly lighter than a normal copper cent, you might be holding one of the rarest and most valuable coins in American history. Whether copper or steel, the 1944 wheat penny continues to stand as a symbol of wartime history, extraordinary minting mistakes, and million-dollar surprises that keep collectors dreaming and searching every single day.
Now let's move to the second coin on our list, the mysterious. This coin didn't just surprise collectors, it completely shocked the numismatic world. The real power of this coin lies in something so small that most people never notice it: the missing mint mark. In 1968, the U.S. Mint restarted the tradition of striking proof coins exclusively at the San Francisco Mint, and every single proof coin made there was supposed to carry a bright, sharp S on the obverse side, right next to the date. It was a rule, a minting standard, something that could not be ignored. But fate had other plans. Deep inside the San Francisco Mint, during the strict and highly controlled process of making proof dies, an extremely rare error occurred. One die, just one, was prepared without the mint mark. Mint workers were unaware of it. The die was polished, prepared, and placed into production, and before anyone realized what had happened, a small number of proof dimes were struck using this incorrect die. These error coins were silently placed inside sealed 1968 proof sets and shipped out to the public like nothing unusual had happened. No alarms, no warnings, no suspicion. For years, these sets sat untouched in drawers, boxes, closets, and old collections, until one day, a sharp-eyed collector opened a proof set and noticed something strange. The dime was shining like a gemstone, perfectly struck, mirror-like surfaces, frosted devices, everything matched the standards of a premium proof coin. But when he looked at the date, the S mint mark was missing. Not faint, not weak, not damaged, missing completely. Experts examined it under magnification and confirmed the shocking truth: the dime was struck without a mint mark. From the very beginning, That's when the story of the 1968 Noes Roosevelt dime spread like wildfire through the coin community. Collectors couldn't believe it. Dealers were stunned. Auction houses knew they had a potential treasure in their hands. And when this dime finally went to auction, something incredible happened. A tiny 10-cent coin, something that most people ignore or drop in jars, sold for a jaw-dropping $48,000. One dime, 10 cents. That became nearly $50,000. Over the years, as more people understood how extremely rare this error was, the value continued to rise. High-grade examples today can easily reach $40,000 to $50,000, and some have sold for even higher amounts depending on their condition and certification. What makes this story even more fascinating is that only a small number of these 1968 Noes proof dimes have ever been confirmed. This isn't a coin you will find every day. This isn't even a coin most collectors will see once in their entire lifetime. But the possibility still exists that more are out there, hidden in untouched proof sets packed away decades ago, sitting in estate boxes, stored in old family collections, or lying forgotten in dusty cupboards. And that is what makes this coin so exciting. Because anyone, literally anyone, who owns a 1968 proof set might be holding a fortune without even knowing it. So if you ever come across a 1968 proof set, treat it with respect. Open it carefully. Hold the dime under a bright light and examine it closely. If there is no S mint mark, you aren't just looking at a coin. You are holding a legendary minting mistake, a rare treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars, and one of the most valuable Roosevelt dimes ever created. A dime that could truly change your life. Now let's